When? I don't remember the year. There's no year for that. I mean, how do you know that there's a year for that?
I think they say the 14th century.
No. The 14th century was recently.
Yeah. No, but
that was when the Mughals were ruling. Babur was in India.
yeah, the 11th century then.
It was definitely BC. It was BC for sure. And I think it all happened at Ayodhya. They say that Ram was born there, which I highly doubt, but that's what they say.
And Ayodhya, it's in the state of Uttar Pradesh.
Yeah.
It's right there.
So,
Therefore, the story has to be true.
it's probably based on as real an event as what the Bible is based on.
Shall we just find out what the story is?
Yeah.
Because,
Because Ram's father had 4 wives.
3 wives,
3 wives.
4 sons.
Okay, so we have 4 sons, 3 wives.
Yeah.
By the way, I know the names of the sons.
Kausalya.
What?
Hey, come on.
No, I mean, that's the name of the wife. That's what I meant.
Yeah, so the wives are Kausalya, Sumitra and Kekeyi. Kausalya's son was Ram, Sumitra's son was Lakshman, and Kekeyi's son was Bharat. Yes. Now Shatrughan was Lakshman's brother, which means he had to be Sumitra's son. Yeah. Now Sita was Ram's wife.
Sita, I know Sita's father was Janaka.
Yeah, and Sita has many names, Sita being just one of them.
Right. Janaki.
Janaki and Vahisha. I saw a play by that. Vaidehi. And Vaidehi is another name for Sita.
Yeah, that's right. And so let me tell you what happened, okay? So Ram was about to be crowned by Dashrath as the king when Kekeyi went up to him. And because she had done something really good, I think she had looked after him when he was sick. Yes. So anyway, at that point, he said to her, "You have one boon. Anything you ask of me, I will do." So then she went and asked him to send Ram away for 14 years, thinking that was a long enough time. If you go away for 14 years, you're pretty much out of sight, out of mind, right?
Rama, my son, today I wished to crown you the king of Ayodhya, but my evil, scheming wife Kaikeyi reminded me of an ancient vow that I made to you. And now, to honor that vow, instead of crowning you the king of Ayodhya, I must banish you to the forest for 14 long years. Goodbye, son. You're noble and kind. You're the embodiment of righteousness. You're a brave warrior prince, the joy of heaven and earth, the ideal man. But for now, you have to go, sir. May the gods be with you.
Don't let the door hit your eyes on the way out. That's what she asked for, and Dashrath was heartbroken. But given that all Indian men are true to their word, he just had to do that.
And after that, he died.
I do remember.
He died eventually.
No, but what about all the Ram Leelas that I've seen as a kid? I remember he died.
But did he die straight away in
No, I remember there's this big scene, it's very dramatic. And he died of an attack because his son is growing up.
I do think he was unwell, right? He was unwell.
Yeah, that's true. And he also has this huge issue, right? He's like ravaged by guilt because Ram is such a good son. Now, take Ram, when he was asked to go away, he actually said he would. He didn't create any problems. He didn't ask why. He just said, "If that is your wish, father, I shall go." And he went. And Sita said, "If you go, I go."
No, Sita. The forest is beset with Rakshasa demons. They harass our wise men and desecrate their ritual fires. I must fight them alone.
But Rama, a woman's
my husband. I will accept any hardship. I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you.
I hate to think what would have been if we had never met. Why should I suppose that this could be? The weary days, the lonely nights are easy to forget, since I'm here and you are here with me. Here we are, you and I. Let the world hurry by. Even while I waited, somehow, dear, I knew you'd find me, and I'd find you. Here we are, alone together. What matter whether we wander far? And though we haven't got a backward, we can still be thankful that here we are. That's all.
Ravana was the evil king of Lanka and he just stole Sita.
Ravana was an incredibly learned man. Actually, the only bad thing he seems to have done is capture Sita, which is kind of interesting because, you know, he was this really learned guy. He knew all these weapons. He prayed to the right gods. So, all this stuff. He's like this good king. Except that over time, we've been led to believe that he's like this complete Mogambo.
Yeah, that's right, because they both lived on an island.
Hey,
And he was also this devoted Shiv Bhakt, right? And he could play all these instruments. The veena with his intestines. Right, right. So Lord Shiva, there's this big story about how devoted a fan he was. And you know, he's asking for a boon one day and just playing the veena with his intestines.
Hard to fell a man like that in battle. What is pain to a man who can play the veena on his intestines? Nothing at all.
But the part that I'm surprised about is that he was the king of Sri Lanka.
Lanka. The king of Lanka.
Called Sri Lanka, they called it Ceylon. I think they're pretty much the same places that we're talking about here.
The point is that's what we think.
And they also built this bridge. NASA says that it still exists and you can see
NASA says.
Must be true then. Maybe they saw them on the moon.
No, but isn't there a Surpanaka?
Surpanaka.
Gosh, I'm taking the name wrong.
Yeah,
If they're around, they'll have me.
Surpanaka is the one with the really ugly nose.
Is that how you define a character?
Now she was Ravana's sister.
Ravana! Rama has destroyed your Rakshasas in the forest. You must take revenge.
Don't do that, master. Ram is powerful.
Sister, do not bother me with your petty concerns.
Dear brother Ravana, have you seen Rama's wife, Sita? She's the most beautiful woman in the world. Her skin is fair, like lotus blossoms. Her eyes, they're like deep lotus pools. And her hands are like lotuses. Make her your wife, Ravana. Steal her from Ram.
Don't do that, master.
I'll hear no arguments from you, Marich. You must help me at once. Transform yourself into a beautiful golden deer to distract Rama. When Sita is unguarded, I'll grab her. She will be mine.
What a beautiful golden deer. Oh, Rama, won't you capture it for me?
I don't know, Sita. It could be a trick.
Oh, Rama, please.
All right, Sita. You ask for so little and give me so much. But promise me, you won't leave the hut while I'm gone. The forest is dangerous.
I promise. Oh, Rama, I love you.
Love is blind to me, now it's kind to me. Love has opened my eyes. Since it came to me, life's a game to me with the sweetest surprise. I never knew how good it was to be a slave to one who means the world to me. I love that man from the start and way down deep in his heart. I know he loves me, heaven knows why. And when he tells me he can't live without me, what wouldn't I do for that man? He's not an angel or saint, and what's the odds that I hate? With all his faults, I know he'll get by. I'll be so true to him, he'll never doubt me. What wouldn't I do for that man? Oh, when he lets me lean my very head on his shoulder, I close my eyes right there and wish I never grew older. I'll never leave him alone, I'll make his troubles my own. I love that man as nobody can. I'm just no good when his arms are about me. What wouldn't I do for that man? No, what wouldn't I do for that man? I'll never leave him alone, I'll make his troubles my own. I love that man better than I do myself. I'm just no good when his arms are about me. What wouldn't I do for that man? Oh, there's not a thing I wouldn't do for my man. That's all.
And you know what Sita does then?
What?
How she's able to tell these people where she is?
Right, right. She drops her jewelry all along the way and then they find it and it's just-
Exactly. I mean, it went all the way to Lanka. How much jewelry was she wearing and how much of it did she drop?
Wait. But she wasn't wearing any jewelry, right? Because she leaves everything before she
left
leaves
everything.
Ayodhya, right? All she has with her are her sannyasi clothes.
But then
and
how
that's-
did they
Don't,
say that?
don't challenge these stories.
She's gone. I asked her not to leave the hut. Oh, how will I ever find her? Sita! Oh, Sita! What has become of you?
Actually, the origins of Hanuman, so all these demons were attacking the earth. So the gods and everyone, they went to Vishnu and they begged him, please help us, please help us. So Vishnu said that he would be born on earth as Ram.
But he was also born as Krishna.
It's
getting very confusing now.
10 avatar, 10 incarnations. So the 10th one is the last one. Supposedly hasn't happened yet. Anyway, so Vishnu also said that Shiva would come help them. So Shiva, Hanuman is an incarnation of Shiva.
See?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so Hanuman is born with the sole purpose of eventually meeting up with Ram and helping him. Like, that was the reason for his birth. Cool, huh?
I will help you. I am Hanuman, the monkey warrior, son of the wind. I'm Rama, Prince of Ayodhya. Let us realize. I will be your servant forever. Now go, find Sita.
She sits under a tree and she weeps and she thinks of Ram and prays to Ram and all these evil people. You know the kind we see in the movies and TV shows? So all these evil people, they come and try and sort of scare her. But the thing is that these women things, whatever these women, demons who are supposed to protect her, they are amazed by her devotion to Ram. So then even Ravana comes along and he's like, what can Ram do for you, blah, 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 that I can't. But Sita's still like, you wait until Ram gets here. You have one last chance. Because once he's here, you know, your ass is grass.
Sita, I love you. You must be my wife.
Never. I love only Rama. I am the chaste and virtuous wife of another man. I belong to Rama as the rays belong to the sun. Give me back to Rama, or you shall soon hear his mighty bow that resounds like Indra's thunderbolt.
For a man speaks sweetly to a woman, the more she insults him. You have 2 months, my dear lady. After that, you shall share my bed. If you refuse to marry me, my evil Rakshasas will slaughter you for my breakfast.
Your ugly yellow eyes should fall out of your head as you stare at me so lustfully, Ravana. The only reason I do not reduce you to ashes with my own blazing fire is because Rama has not ordered me to do so.
If you were peeping, you find that I'm weeping instead. so.
Sita made her own share of mistakes. In fact, I think she should have just gone back with Hanuman. This whole idea of my man will come, it's ridiculous. It's like your one little tight thing. Jump on Hanuman's back, go back, chill out, hundreds will be fine, okay?
But my question is that, do you think she trusted Hanuman altogether?
Hey.
Of course she did.
See, there's a
She
point.
trusted Hanuman completely. It's just that she wanted her man to come and
That's
save
another
her.
thing. It's like you've got to
but
prove it to me,
at that
baby.
particular
You've got
point,
to
that's-
show
She
me.
also wanted
Sorry. Go on.
So she also wanted the evil king to be defeated, right? So she
Then why don't you go back so that the evil king doesn't have a hostage and then do it, right?
because she's trying to almost glorify Ram through all this, you know. She's thinking, my husband, he is virtuous. He will come, he will kill Ravana,
And then,
he will
he
just...
had the monkey warriors help.
No, but again, my question is, were they monkeys?
Right,
Because
they could fly.
Yeah, they
No.
could fly.
From what I understand, the monkeys are one species and the Vanars, they are another species. So the Vanars, they are like half man, half monkey. Yeah.
I thought so because they are tails below the waist.
Yeah, I mean, they had the tails and everything, but they were definitely half man, half monkey, if not more.
So whatever they were, this was it. This was the army. Without them, there were just these two brothers traipsing around the
Sugriva.
forest.
Yeah, the two
Sugriva.
brothers and Sugriva's big army.
Right.
There was even a name for them.
The Vanar
Vanar
Sena.
Sena.
The Vanar
Sena.
Yeah.
Hanuman, assemble the Vana warriors. We shall cross the sea to Lanka and rescue Sita.
Yes, my lord. We march at once.
Who's that knocking? Don't stand outside there. Come on in here. I just had a sort of feeling this morning. Something good was gonna happen today. Now there comes a sun without any warning. I just know it's good luck coming my way. Goodness gracious, can it be? Someone's coming back to me. Who's that knocking at my door? I've been waiting oh so long. I'll just start if I'm wrong. Who's that knocking at my door? I know it can be the mailman, the coalman, the iceman. They've been here today. Can be the grocer, the butcher, the baker. They don't knock that way. If my sweetie's there outside, my arms and my heart are open wide. Who's that knocking at my door?
Oh gosh! And later I know what Ram did when he met Sita in the forest. When he met her in the forest, he hugged her, kissed her,
No. In fact, he was very cold
But
towards her.
why was Ram cold to Sita?
I actually don't know.
I don't know either.
In that case, you can always make it up the way they always do.
You have lived in another man's house, so you're unfit to be my wife. I have done my duty in rescuing you from the enemy, avenging the insult to myself. Terrible suspicions about your character and conduct. Ravana was aware of your beauty. He could not have kept you in his house without touching you. The very sight of you is so painful. You are free to go wherever you want, Sita. I have no more use for you.
If I had known this, I would have killed myself before I spared you this war. Build me a funeral pyre. I cannot bear to live. Despite my virtues, my husband has rejected me.
He's obviously doubting her pureness.
No, but I find this whole issue of pureness, purity, it's very odd.
I find it really strange that no one is commending Ravana for not forcibly.
How do you commend?
Okay, no, we can't commend somebody for that, but
Right,
still, I
because
mean,
what if he had raped her? Then
yeah,
how
but,
you
but,
go about...
but in terms of villains, right? We expect villains to be villainous.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who's like, if you do not come to me willingly, I will not touch you.
Right.
I will not force you in my house.
Right.
I will not force myself on you.
But out of all the questions, the question that I have is, did they ever have sex?
No! And Sita proved her purity over and over again.
Through trial by fire.
Yeah.
in fact.
Yeah.
And he's still not convinced, it seems like, even after she goes through this entire trial by fire.
I think he was convinced because later on it was just peer pressure. You know, there was a dhobi involved in it.
How is there peer pressure by a dhobi?
No.
Story.
No, he was convinced. It wasn't like he doubted her. He said, okay, you are pure. And then they hugged and the flowers fell from the heavens or something.
I guess you were pure after all. You will forgive me, Sita.
Of course, Rama. I live only for you.
No. The gods sent down a flying chariot for them or something.
I knew it flew. You know, it was some kind of a moving object. It looked something like a Japanese train, maybe.
I'm finding it to be totally cool. It was like the world's first airplane or something. They actually flew back.
But was it not on a bird or...
Was it a bird?
No. It flew somehow. It was something like, you know, Aladdin's carpet.
No, it was an elaborate structure.
Pushpaka. The gods sent down the golden chariot Pushpaka for them.
Yeah, but wasn't that the name of one of the Air India jumbo jets? I remember. And there's also a movie by that name. Kamal Haasan starred in it.
Okay, but that was my point. It wasn't a bird, it was
The Pushpaka Vimana.
Yes. And I guess after 14 years in the forest, they needed a quick way to get back.
Rama, I'm pregnant.
Darling.
Maybe they joined the Mile High Club while they were on Pushpaka Vimana.
Okay, we don't exactly know when she got pregnant.
But it is conceivable, right?
What?
It was Rama.
Of course it was Rama.
I said it was.
Yes! Papi! Kulta! Rasane! I am not like Rama, who will take a woman who has slept in another man's house.
There was a dhobi story, right? There's something about a dhobi and
Yeah,
all
there's
this.
a dhobi involved.
Yeah, so the thing with the dhobi, okay, so the dhobi's wife, she's with somebody else. And when she comes back, the dhobi's like, what do you think? That I'm like Ram to take you back after. And when news of this hits Ram, he's like, I cannot rule. I cannot rule if my subjects don't respect me. And Sita, you will just have to actually, that's when he banishes her. Yeah, that's when he banishes her.
What? निकाल मेरे घर से उल्टा बुलक्षणी चलबूहे उल्टा निकाल
Say, Sita, would you like to take a trip?
We just got here.
Yeah, great. Get packing. Brother Lakshman, my wife's dubious reputation has cast a doubt upon my own. You must drive her to the forest and abandon her there. I cannot have her in my kingdom.
I suppose as a king, he sort of had to.
Exactly, because if the common man was doing it to their wives, then why should a king treat his wife any differently?
I think that he let her go not because he thought she was impure, but because as a king he needs the respect of his subjects.
No, see, I think there was this element of doubt in him. I mean, sure, it was coupled with the fact that he was virtuous and that he kept his word to his father and his kingdom and his subjects, but it just feels like there was a doubt that Sita, maybe she's not pure.
I feel too bad. I'm feeling mighty sick and so bad. I said I'm feeling sick and so afraid. My man don't love me no more.
must have committed some terrible sin in my previous life to have deserved such suffering. Were I not carrying Rama's sons, I would have thrown myself into this river.
She's always shown to be pregnant thereafter.
No. That's only after she's banished and she goes to the forest because that's where she meets this teacher guy. What's his name?
Valmiki.
Yeah, Valmiki, exactly.
Valmiki.
And that's where she narrates the whole story to Valmiki, and then Valmiki wrote the Ramayana.
Yeah, that's right. So, Lava and Kush, or Lava and Kusha, were born to Sita in the forest. And Valmiki taught them. He taught them all these songs praising Ram.
Lava, Kusha, come, let us sing the praises of Rama.
Rama's great, Rama's good, Rama does what Rama should. Rama's just, Rama's right, Rama is a guiding light. Perfect man, perfect son, Rama's loved by everyone. Always right, never wrong, we praise Rama in this song. Sing his love, sing his praise, Rama shed his white flame for the world. Take the round to enlist his people down. Rama's God, Rama's mind, Rama does what Rama Rama's good, Rama does what Rama should. Rama's just, Rama's right, Rama is our guiding light. Perfect man, perfect son, Rama's loved by everyone. Always right, never wrong, we praise Rama in this song.
Okay, so tell me, if you had a girlfriend who was being treated really badly by her ex or her current boyfriend, and she's always like, no, I'm going to make sure that I cook him a hot lunch and that he gets it at noon. Aren't you going to be like, listen, something's wrong. He doesn't talk to you. He doesn't listen to you. You've got to move on, okay? And here we have Sita who's doing this puja every day. And what is with this whole good and bad thing? Why do we always expect people to be either all good or all bad? I think Sita had her own issues. She could have just gone back with Hanuman and saved hundreds and thousands of lives.
Of monkeys.
What about animal rights?
And she was praying to this guy every day. Come on.
See, but also at this point, she had this unconditional love for him, right? So she's just thinking, this is my man, I love him.
No. This is the part of the female perspective that I disagree with. We always say that, oh, she loved him, so she did this. But it doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't love somebody who doesn't treat you right.
Exactly, who treats you so badly.
Exactly. That was her mistake.
But that is hence unconditional love.
I'm just a woman, a lonely woman, waiting on a weary shore. I'm just a woman that's only human, one you should feel sorry for. Got up this morning along about dawn, without a warning I found he was gone. Why should he do it? How could he do it? He never done it before. Am I blue? Am I blue? Ain't these tears in his eyes telling you?
And after that, when Rama went to the forest, he saw these two kids singing. He didn't know who they were. So he went up to them and he was like, hey, who are you? Who are they? And that's when he realized that Sita's there. And those were his own kids, Lava and Kusha.
My sons!
Father!
Return with me to Ayodhya Palace to rule for eternity.
So Rama wants to take Love and Kush back with him to Ayodhya, but he's still hesitant about taking Sita back.
Sita? Well, of course, Sita. All Sita has to do is to prove her purity again. Another trial by fire, perhaps? Or we could try a trial by water. You know, to see if she sinks or floats. If she sinks, she's pure. And if she floats... Oh, wait, that doesn't make sense. If she floats, she's pure. And if she sinks...
So Rama asks Sita to prove her purity again. Actually, I don't know whether he asks her, commands her or whatever, but Sita says,
I shall prove my purity to you. If I have always been true to Rama,